this pilot flies right into a huge frontal. Now pause. You know how to handle this? Today I'm breaking this video down to help you understand how you can handle this in your flying. You ready? Here we go.
See ya.
I'm paragliding!
See ya.
What's up, guys? This is Ari in the air. Welcome back to the channel. Stoked you're here. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Ari. I teach high-level paragliding with emotional intelligence and relationship skills because technical skills alone make incomplete pilots. I've got the integrated pilot course happening this fall. We're going to transcend and include technical skills in this course. We're going to talk about the emergency protocol you need, the mindset that allows you to adapt and continue growing, how to make deep relationships and serve the community in paragliding, and forecasting the weather like an absolute pro. Links in the description below. So let's dive into this video. I'm going to show it to you one time here all the way through, and then we are going to break it down. Pitching back, pitching forward, 70% collapse. Totally fine reopening. Okay, so this is a very benign collapse and reinflation, which I'm so glad for. And we are just going to break down what it is that he does wrong and what it is that he does right so that you can understand this. Right here, the glider pitches back, you see, and then it pitches forward. He looks up, which is a good instinct. He has symmetrical braking. Doesn't nearly pull nearly enough brake. But also in his recovery, he doesn't overreact and pull a bunch of brake. So his don't pull the brakes too hard fear both creates the collapse, but also allows the glider to handle it himself or itself. And this kind of serves you in this glider class, mid B, high B. These gliders are pretty dependable to reinflate themselves most times. But in general, I don't think you want to be relying solely on passive safety of glider design to keep you safe while flying in the sky, right? So what you need to know is this. When the glider pitches back, it's like pulling a bowstring that when it pitches back, it's going to pitch forward. And so you need to get ready for that. As the glider pitches forward, pitch back, pitch forward, he does pull a bit of brake. But notice this, you can see this in so many of these videos on this channel, is that when the pilot goes to check the glider, he just goes down, up. Okay, notice that here. Watch it again. We'll just key through. Key. He goes checking. He goes down. Look, pull the brake down. And then look at his right hand. It's only down for a brief moment before now he's already letting up on it, right? He's at the bottom of the speed bar. The glider's going back. He's just holding his hands symmetric, just holding them, watching the glider. It turns him not quite 180, but almost 180. It's more like 140 degrees or so. So not nearly enough brake input here. Remember, the brakes can go from fully hands up to beneath the seat board as far as you can reach them. And the saying is that you can pull a finite amount of brake for an infinite amount of time, or an infinite amount of brake for a very finite amount of time. And in this case, you need infinity brake for a very finite amount of time, meaning that as the glider shoots forward, you pull the brakes down until the glider stops moving forward. And then as it stops moving forward, you instantly let your hands all the way up. Okay, let me pull up a different video that demonstrates this for you. So this is a video of me at Pine Mountain flying my old trusty ENC 3-liner, and I am going to induce some extreme pitch to show you what it can look like with the brakes here, okay? So I'm going to pull and then let it shoot, hands up. And then as I swing under, I'm going to pull a dynamic full stall the glider, hands up, and then let it shoot hard so that I can pull the brakes. And then on this one, big extreme pitch, stall the glider, hands up, let it shoot, and then pull the brakes so hard. And this is what I want to highlight for you, okay? So I go from stalled here in tail slide, and I let the glider shoot so that I can show you an extreme pitch. Glider shooting forward really hard, and look at my hands here. I'm already pulling to the carabiners. The glider's still moving forward. And as I key through the frames here forward, you can see my hands are at the seat board or lower. The rear risers are slack here because I'm pulling so much brake that it slacks the rear risers. And I'm staying on the brakes. Look at my hands are below the seat board and I'm staying on the brakes. Like I said, you pull as much much brake as you need as the glider progresses forward towards the horizon until it stops. And when it stops, you let up on the brakes. Okay. So as long as the glider is still moving forward, I'm pulled as far as I can and I'm holding down. As I key through this, you see now the rear risers are slacking even more, meaning the glider is near its stall point and the glider starts to recede from the horizon. And I immediately in, 3 frames here, go from pulling as much brake as I can to completely hands up and letting myself swing underneath the glider. Okay, so this just goes to show, just going back to the last video, that when the glider pitches forward, you can pull way, way, way more brake than this. Way more brake. Sharp, fast, and then when the glider stops moving forward, let your hands right back up. Okay, this is, I say ringing the bell, which means like you're flying along and you're like, oh God, like ring the bell. Hand goes as far as you can. You're searching for brake pressure and you pull as much until you find it. If you don't find it, you just put your hand down, you just took some slack out of the system in the back of the glider, which is helpful. Okay, so I hope that this makes sense. This pilot did a good job of just, once he took the collapse, he just mostly stayed calm. He knew, I'm not sure that I handled that right, but I'm also not going to screw it up any further. So he just kind of sits there and the glider reinflates on its own. And then he kind of takes control of it once it's flying. I think he just flew away from this. This probably didn't spook him or startle him too much, but is a good example of what a normal collapse can look like here. And this collapse could happen to you tomorrow. And the difference between handling it perfectly or inadvertently stalling the glider and cascading into an impact is all about preparation. And if this analysis shows you there might be holes in your preparation, you're not alone. This is why I'm teaching the integrated pilot this fall online, 3 sessions. We're going to cover all of the emergency skills that you need to know so that you can fly away from anything like this consistently. And also the mindset that keeps you in your zone of development and not in over your head so that you don't get hurt, burn out, or sustain a fear injury. I'm also going to teach you how to forecast the weather like a pro. That starts October 19th. Links in the description below. Hope to see you there. Thanks so much for watching. Share this with your paragliding community. And as always, see you in the next episode.